Good morning, everybody. Is the sound okay? Hi, my name is Sander Schouten, and I'm the business director of Beyond Sports. Beyond Sports is a virtual reality company that uses real match data to turn it into virtual for game analysis or game player performance enhancement. Beyond Sports is a 100% subsidiary of IIIT, and the reason why I mention that is that IIIT is a mobile application company, and we have great knowledge of the mobile industry and how the mobile phones work. And if you tear an Oculus Rift apart or a Samsung Gear, in the end there will be a mobile phone there displaying your virtual world. So that was a great head start for us guys. This is a team that works at Beyond Sport. We're a young startup. We're working for about 14 months now, prior to the World Cup, the last World Cup, and we have been pretty busy since then. We had an idea about 14 months ago. We had an idea. We thought, okay, if we could use virtual reality to use it as to experience any match from any perspective in the field, how cool would that be if I could look through the eyes of one of the players? And the other thing that we want to do is I want to see more than I could ever see before. So I wanted to see what a striker saw of Manchester United while he scored a goal. And I wanted to understand why he scored that goal and how he could come in the position to score that goal. And those things actually started off a bit earlier, by coincidence, I have to say. 14 months prior to today, I went to the Dutch FA for a project with Google Glass. Who remembers Google Glass, right, at these days? But I had a brilliant idea. I thought, if you use Google Glass and you give it to referees and you put it on their head and have like a 10-second replay of the last action in the match, and they could see if it was a foul or not, that would be great. So no more unnecessary red cards, no more unnecessary penalty kicks, those kind of things. So it came to the Dutch FA. They found it interesting, but they said maybe there's something else here. And I started talking to the technical staff, and there was one guy there. His name is Max Rekkers. Maybe you've heard of him. A great guy. One of those guys that's willing to put his head on the block to get to the next level, to the next technical level, because. Maybe this is a bit swearing in this area, but football is a bit of a conservative sport. We're coming from a tech world. We're way beyond. You know, we want to change everything that's out there, and football just want to be football. You know, they like the things they were, and they want to keep it as it is. Things are changing. But Max is one of those guys that could get us there. And so we were talking to Max, and he said, "Okay, this is cool. Maybe I can use it for my own team to see what player stats are during the match, those kind of things." And I said, you know what, we got another great tool at our office, and it's called the Oculus Rift. Nobody heard about it yet, but maybe it's cool for you. So we brought this kit because one of my colleagues, the slide's not working. Anyways, one of my colleagues was smart enough to back the project called Oculus Rift. He backed it on Kickstarter. Little kid, Palmer Luckey, 90 years old, invented this whole thing. Now, about 18 months later, he's $2 billion richer because he sold his company to Facebook. Different story, but good to know. And so we said, okay, we'll come back next week, and we're going to bring this tool called Oculus Rift, and we're going to make you believe that you're in a roller coaster. And he said, no way. No way that you're going to make me believe that I'm in a roller coaster. If I'm in an office sitting on a chair, I'm sitting in the chair in my own office. So we came back the next week, and we put on the Oculus Rift, started the only thing that we had up until that moment, which was the roller coaster, put him in there, and after 2 minutes, no, he didn't scream from his mother, but anyways, he was a bit excited inside, and he said, how cool is this? I really thought I was in this roller coaster. I feel it in my stomach, I feel it everywhere, I start sweating, you know. How cool is this? So we get one of the head coaches he worked for, put him in the same thing, and he said exactly the same thing. You're not going to make me believe that I'm in one of those roller coasters. So 2 minutes later, he had exactly the same experience. He came out of that headset back into the reality and said, wow, this is cool, but what's in it for me? And at that exact moment, it popped to mind. I said, how cool would it be if I could see through one of your players' eyes back into the match to understand why he made a certain choice or not? Or I can explain to one of his co-players to show them why he made a certain decision. And he said, okay, there's something there. Talk to Max and try to get there. What we knew is that for years now, there has been data tracking, TrackUp, all the other guys that's out there, out here, Prozone, those kind of guys. They have been tracking data like this, presenting to you like this, just data points, so X and Y coordinates. And we use the same coordinates to transfer it into that. So we used the coordinates of a player, we knew their physiques, and we placed the physiques of one of those players on top of one of those X and Y coordinates, and we created a virtual world. If you look at the background, it's the Manchester Stadium, Old Trafford. We did it for you guys, of course. And we rendered it into stills like this. This is just a still. I will show you later on footage of real matches. This is actually Liverpool versus Stoke last match of Gerrard last year. You can see the real footage there for reference. And you know, it started to look pretty good. It's not FIFA quality like the game, but yet it was getting there. With our own motion capture animations built in. So we could have, instead of stickmans walking around like that, we could have like real emotions in there. And so later on that translated into one of our propositions. We had 3 propositions, I will take you through it. The first one was match analysis. As I just said, any player, any perspective, any time. How would it look like in real life? This is the footage that you know from any other data provider, or from Fox or Sky Sports, just a normal view. Gives you all the analytics in there that you want to see, the midfield positions, those kind of things. But we wanted to see it from this point of view. And of course, once we did that, we run into trouble as well, because a player that uses one of those headsets is completely immersed. And when he was pointing out, I said, yeah, but coach, there's some defender there and there. That's why I made a choice to go to the other side. We didn't know exactly which player there was. So we had to find out, I had to create a hand of God tool, which is over here. So we could point out one of those guys and say, okay, number 13, do you mean number 13? There was like a beam of light above his head. So yeah, coach, I mean number 13. So we could talk to him, because we had to find a new way to communicate with players who were completely immersed. But taking all that information, we started thinking, okay, maybe we could train them as well, not just show them the match that they have been playing already, but maybe we can help them train and getting better as well. So we found out what we called custom scenario. But virtual reality is a new world. It's a new era, it's a new industry. And if we compare it to this room, I think that what we know about virtual reality is probably the first row. The rest of all the rows back there is all the, sorry for the word, but all the bullshit that you hear about virtual reality. We don't know yet. So the first thing what we thought is, okay, we got one programmer who can build the software for us, and we hire 5 researchers from the neuro department of the University of Utrecht to prove what we think is right or isn't right. And during that study, we came to a pretty interesting study that had been made, not by us, but somebody else. And that said, okay, in a stadium like this, with a really ugly render like that, and you show that to a goalkeeper, you can create the same anxiety in his head as being in a real match. And we thought, okay, that's cool. If you got a really, really ugly render like this, and you transfer it into the better render that we got, maybe we can increase that level. So we started to dive into that. And one of the things, because this is one of our own researchers, Maarten Laken, what he found out is that the reason why it works is because of this part in the brain. I got good news for you. You've got this part in your brain. You're all healthy people, because without that part in your brain, you would not be able to get in here, because this will tell you the space, your surroundings, where you are, that is a chair that you're sitting in, etc., etc. So good news, you're all healthy people, so it's hooray for you guys. But we use it as well. So this glasses triggers this part of the brain to make you believe that you're really there. This is an interesting part, right? So it really makes you believe that you're there. And we use that part. And what we used is, okay, what we thought is, okay, if we're going to do this, we need to do it together with a club. or with a national team. We need to do this together with the trainers there because we don't have the knowledge. We're tech guys, you know. We love funny stuff like Oculus Rift, but we don't know anything about football. So what we did is we talked to Max Reckers a lot. We talked to Stijn, who's sitting here, one of the guys we're working with, and helped us develop our program. And what we thought is, okay, if we're going to do this, we need to build it from scratch. We need to match our software to their club's philosophy and not the other way around. We're there for you, and we're there to help your players get better. And we want to train exactly what the coaches want to train. It will become clear later on. And we want to improve your spatial awareness. So that's that part in your brain that helps you realize that you're in this room and helps you getting in this room. And we want to train the decision-making skills. But we want to do it on a high density, so a lot of frequency in there. But above all, it's tactical, but not technical. We're never ever going to replace the training that you do out there on the pitch. That's not our intention. It's there for when you're injured, or it's there to be an extra on top of your normal daily training. This is what it looks like. You're dropped randomly into a situation, any situation, and it's based on real data. So all these guys, from the waist down, they're walking the exact same path as in any match that we have been recording. But from your waist up, you're now free to move wherever you want to move. So you dropped into this situation, and you're there with your controller, you got your headset on, and suddenly the moment freezes, and you have to make this choice. So you do that by using an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, just pressing one of these letters above the head. And you get feedback straight away. In this case, it was an incorrect answer. And what helps is for the coaches that you can bring them straight above the field and help them understand that, because you're the white player over here, that the correct answer is blue over there and not yellow here, because that's the goal you want to go to, and you just intercepted the ball, and that guy could be 1-on-1 at the goalie. You cannot see it on this render. I can see it here on the screen perfectly, but you have to trust me. How does it work in real life? This is during one of AZ Alkmaar's training camps. We did it with all the players. We got all the stats of all those players. It's in Dutch. I will do the translation after this, because. What happened here is a totally confused player. He's angry. He doesn't agree with his coach. He doesn't understand why. He's pointing over there and saying, why? Because if I play the ball to him, he was 1-on-1 at the goalkeeper, and why should I pass outside first and then inside? And I said to him, okay, I can help you, I can make you see it from above, and he still was not agreeing with me. He said, it should have been A and not B, or whatever. And then I said, okay, you can go to your coach and make him explain why he made that choice for you. And that coach was really, really happy with me, because you get an angry player in his office and say, why did you make me do that, make me make that choice? And the coach said, I loved it, because in the first time, normally I got a classroom like this, there are 20 players in there, they're watching the video, because there's a video analyst explaining all the new game fragments. But I'd never know which of the 20 players really paid attention, and which were just sitting there texting to the mother or girlfriend or whatever. And now for the first time I see their feedback, and I see feedback in data as well, knowing that they know. So he thanked me for it. And later on, he had a good conversation with him, and he did understand why he made a certain choice, or vice versa. He understands why the player wants to make a different choice. Not saying that's because of our tool, but 2 days later he got his transfer to Watford, so that's Steven Berghuis, by the way. All this is fine, but like I said in the beginning, we only want to do things if we can prove it or disprove it. We want to have science in there. And what we found out after using it with the Youth Academy of Ajax for a year, there was an A and a B group and the under-19s, is that the A group who did use it had a 20% increase in making correct choices in the pitch, in random situations. They got like 60 situations in a row making all these choices. And what we saw as well is that it had like, they took a second less to make that right decision. So we had a great result there. And actually they're implementing this system into the Ajax Youth Academy right now. Because what it did, it was improving your spatial awareness. They knew where they were in the pitch at any given time, because it was just as real as it is in real life. Question, why is an older player 9 out of 10 times better than a younger player in the same position? experience, exactly. He has been in that situation over and over and over and over again, so he knows that the ball's going to go over here and he can receive it over here. And a young player probably stands over here and misses that same point. It's not because he's physically less than the older guy, 9 or 10 times he's physically stronger, but just hasn't been that experienced yet. But now you can train the guy on the level of the first team from really early age on. So from the age of 12, you can train people on the level of 21. This is actually what we do with the Youth Academy. So we're building player profiles. We keep track of them. We can help them. We can see if a little guy of 10 who's coping with the physiques got the eye, once he got the physiques, to play on the professional level or not. And like I said, you can test a 12-year-old at the level of 21. Imagine that. You can already select the right players at the level of 21 for their eye, not for the rest of it, not for the skill. We don't say that we make you a better football player by passing the ball. We just say make you a better player seeing where the ball should go to. And all that without extra load on the body. And if you're 12 years old, it's hard enough to go to school, to do all your homework, to train for your club, do all the exams that you have to do, etc., etc. Also for injured players at the first team, it could be great stuff to keep on training while you're injured because you're not enduring your body. Teams that we work with or that we help us to enrich the program, Dutch national team, PSV, Ajax, and AC Alkmaar. We're in talks with Premier League clubs. I had the great hope to announce them already here, but not yet, but we're in talks with them. And then the third one, and I want to mention this, maybe it's not for you guys, but maybe it is if you're in marketing, but this is like a sneak peek into the future, but maybe more near future than you realize. This is just a bit of a background on virtual reality. What we see is that the virtual reality market is behaving themselves as the beginning of the mobile era. So every 3 months there's a better, faster, stronger device out there that makes the previous one forget. So it's like a Moore's law. Every step it's twice as good. I don't know, not sure if you know this guy, the owner of Facebook. But he says, okay, in the beginning we had text. Later on we started to share photos with all my friends. And then right now we're in the video sharing era. Fine, Instagram, those kind of things. Instagram, also Facebook, of course. But later on we're going to share virtual reality moments. Because why wouldn't I want to share that I'm here on the stage and all your guys and girls looking at me, and I want to share this with all my friends at home. I want to make them part of my experience right here. So this is what Facebook believes in, and this is why they bought the Oculus Rift. People ask me in previous speeches that why don't you use real footage? Well, there are two things. One, I cannot mount a GoPro on every player's head. It's just not allowed. Maybe I want to do it, but it's just not allowed. And there are two other things. And one is this one. If you want to stream that, if you want to use that, it's going to take 4 or 5 times more bandwidth than the traditional videos, normal footage that you will use, because you have to film 360 every single time. Not even 360, but also 180. So not there yet. The only one that's going to be happy if we do this is probably AT&T, O2, or Vodafone, those kind of guys, because they're going to send you bills at the end of the month. You can buy a player from probably, but anyway. And we got a lot of difficulties stitching those images together, because we've got rendering issues and stitching issues. So this is why we use virtual. There's something else going on. Why is a good time to step into VR right now? Because the technique goes up rapidly, price will go down rapidly as well of the devices. But there's also something else going on. And if you're in marketing and you're with one of the clubs, and you have fan engagement, you got your whole fan base in Asia, or you got your fan base in America or whatever, this could be a really interesting fact. There's a new type of consuming going on, what's called fantasy sports, or Twitch. Everybody knows what Twitch is? Twitch is a platform where I watch 2 other guys fighting each other in a game. And I pay money for that. I even support one of my local favorites. I can support I'm Great number 4045, something like that. I can sponsor him. I can say, keep on playing, you're my favorite fan. You know? So there's a different kind of consuming of entertainment going on. Virtual reality can be a big part of that. Then, if I take it a step further, we have been talking to Fox recently, and what I emphasize in the near future is something like this, where virtual reality could really help. This is just normal footage, sitting on the couch or wherever you are with friends. Switching to VR, becoming that player, making the kick, transfer to the striker, and passing the goalie with a header. Don't mention the rendering quality of this, because this is not on the top level it has to be yet. But this will improve. This will improve, this will get better. But this is where the near future is going to be. And there's one other thing that I think is really interesting, is that where sports channels can use it for analyzing parts. Every Sunday, where I live in the Netherlands, there's some wise guy, some old player, drawing all kind of lines on the board, saying if we would have passed to the left or to the right, or if you see that area behind the defending line, then we would have won. And like I said, I'm Dutch. And if they did that last Sunday, then we would have won from Turkey and we would have gone to the European Cup, but we're not. So, and there's some guy, and he's making all these lines. And I'm sitting on the couch, thinking that I know a lot about football, but obviously I'm not, because I'm a tech guy, as I just said. And the reason why I don't understand him is because I don't feel the depth. He presents it to me in 2D. So he makes all these lines, but I don't really understand what the depth is behind that last line. So what we thought is, like, how cool would it be if he makes his lines and he draws that, and we send it straight away to things like this. This is a $4 or $5 device. This is from Carton, it's a Carton box. If you don't have one, go to our stand, 287, is that correct, Nicolas? 287, and go there, do your own experience. You get one of those from us, and you will get, you have your own mobile phone, you slide it in there, and you got this experience. We just beam it towards you. And you're looking like that and say, oh, that's what he meant for the depth behind the defending line. Pretty interesting thought, right? How would it look like if we start consuming that to you guys as well? You got like your normal Fox Go app or any other app. And during halftime, we can shoot you these fragments. Just any other regular play. This is Ajax versus Paris Saint-Germain 2 years ago, I think, or last year. And he makes his goal. And any given time, I can just press on the screen and say, oh shit, I want to see this from the defender. What's he doing there? Just tap on it. You can sponsor it if you want to. Say, yes, I got a cardboard sponsored by Heineken. Oh, and then it's transferred into your glasses, and you can see it as in virtual. I hope that this gave you a bit of an overview of what we're doing. If you've got any questions, this is the time. We've got 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to do a lot of questioning. That's what I'm here for. So, yeah, please go ahead. Don't be afraid.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I was wondering, can you have variables in it, so like weather and bad pitches, so that might have been a reason why the player made that decision? Can you add that to the virtual?
Yeah, that's what I said. We do everything together with the club or with the trainer or with the coach together. So if he said, I want to have more variables there, or no passing options, but I want him to transfer with the ball to then in that area, that could be one of the options as well. So we're working with 4 or 5 clubs now. None of them are the same. And none of them are disclosed to one of the other, of course, because there's quite some tactical information there. First thing that we do is signing an NDA. We will not disclose your game tactics to anybody else. Does that answer your question? No one else? Well, thank you very much for coming. Come join us at the stand, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.